Jay here for Stretford Paddock, and we've had the here we go for Patrick Dorgu moving from Lecce, is that how you say it, to Manchester United. So we're going to get into all that. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. We're obviously live. I'm here in my kitchen. I left the studio just about on my way home, seen the message, seen the tweet, seen all the rest of it, seen we'd had the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. I thought, typical, but I'll do a little video when I get home. So make sure you lot are all getting involved in the chat and letting us know even what you think about it all. Let's just start talking about even and get my words out about the tweet we had from Fabrizio Romano. He posted, let me just get into it. It's about an hour ago, wasn't it? So it says Patrick Dorgu to Manchester United. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place with Lecce. Documents to be checked in next 24 hours. Fee will be 30 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons, not guaranteed. Long-term contract agreed days ago with the player, and first signing for Ruben Amorim. It is the first signing of the Ruben Amorim era. I mean, look, we'll get into a little bit about the Marcus says Jay slagging off Fab in 3, 2, 1. I'm not slagging off anyone. We're gonna get into the sort of nitty-gritty about Patrick Dorgu, what he's gonna bring to the team, all that jazz in a sec. But this is needed, wasn't it? We needed a signing for Ruben Amorim, not just any signing, but we need a player that can fit into his system. We know we've got issues with the wing backs. He's been playing Diogo Dalot at left wing back. He's not really shone there, if we're being brutally honest. Also on the right hand side, you've seen someone like Amad Diallo who's done quite well there, but you like to see him further up the pitch. I know, obviously, we expect Dorgu to play on the left hand side, although to be fair, I think is it Kenda Sporting, who's a left-footed player who plays on right wing back, but you'd expect anyway Dorgu to fit in at left wing back. Right wing back is still a little bit of an issue, although some might feel that Mazraoui can do his job there, or even the low on the right hand side, because that is his natural side. So it does give us more options. It is needed, and there was a slight worry a few days ago that there was rumours or rumblings that maybe Manchester United weren't going to do any business in the January transfer window, or if we did, the only business we might be doing is moving a couple of players on. But we've brought in a signing, and a much needed one too. Let me know what you think. Do you know much about this player? Do you think this is the right signing? What sort of message does this send out to not just to everyone? I mean, I don't think this is a huge message to the footballing world that Manchester United have brought a player for 30 million euros, but it does send a little bit of a message to Ruben Amorim that, look, we will get you players that you need. We'll give you a little bit of backing. Cowboy, says Fab is all right. The fake United news every other video gets old fast though. Gio says needed signing. BMW Racing, Bubba Bass says evening Jay, great job. Now get us a striker. Sorry, says BMW Racing 1974. Ross Murphy says we got till Monday. They can try and get another forward in. I would love to see a forward coming in. Might be difficult. You never know. A lot might depend on what happens with Marcus Rashford, for example. Maybe even Alejandro Garnacho. If Alejandro Garnacho goes out, does that mean that we're able to bring in a striker, or are we leaving it a bit late? Or would Manchester United want to go out and bring a striker in at this late in the day? I'm not so sure. Because it's only, 4 months until the January transfer window. So maybe they might go, look, so the summer transfer, sorry. So they might not want to go big in January for a striker. You probably need a stopgap, don't you? If you do bring in a striker, it's probably got to be a low move. Santa Notch says, I doubt we'll get more this month. I kind of agree with you, Santa Notch. Not Santa. I agree with you, Notch. I don't think we will. Let's talk a little bit about Patrick Dorgu. So he's played, just having a look at his record this season. 21 games in Serie A, 3 goals and an assist. Not bad for a wing back. Also played a couple of games in the Italian Cup. Obviously, he's only a young lad. I think he's 20 years old. So very much at the start of his career. A player that there's been a little bit of rumors out. There's been a few rumors, regarding this transfer. So I get my words out. There's been a few rumors regarding this transfer over the last few weeks, actually. I don't think this is like a massive surprise, because it seems to be gathering momentum just as we were approaching the transfer window. There was a couple of rumblings, weren't there, that Patrick Dorgu was someone that Manchester United were looking at. There was talk, though, that maybe Napoli were looking at him. I think it was Napoli were looking at him as well. Obviously, Manchester United able to get in there ahead of them and get the signing done. Danish international has got 4 caps for Denmark. only 2 seasons or 1.5 seasons in professional football. Played 32 games or 34 games in all competitions last season for Lecce, 32 in Serie A, and he's played 21 this season. So since he's got into the team in Serie A, he's played, a lot of football, 53 games since he broke into the team last season. Is pretty impressive. Obviously, playing for his country as well. Very much a player that has had a sort of a quick rise, hasn't he? Once he's broken into these teams, once he's broken into the first team, all of a sudden, he's playing for his country and he's a regular for his team. Now, Lecce, of course, have struggled this season. I think they're near the bottom of the table. Let me just have a quick butcher's up there and see if I can remind myself where they are. Yeah, the third bottom. So you'd imagine that whilst they don't want to lose him, they're probably going to be looking to reinvest that money, I presume. So I don't know much about the transfer machinations of Lecce. I'm not going to pretend I do, but you'd imagine that they might use some of that dough to try and bring in a couple of players. Akash K says, Jay, I think we nailed it with the add-ons, not guaranteed. Lecce get paid out. Arca says, is he coming over immediately or is this one we have to wait for? Who does he replace? Says Jigger O'Toole, the low. Notch says, nice to get someone in with some dubious injury record. At least it's not the usual 50 million, says A8. Yeah, I agree with that one because usually when we buy a player, it's around, a lot of the players we sign, it's the 50 million mark in it. It's always the 50 million one. Oh, let's just pay 50 million for him. That seems to be the going rate, doesn't it, when Manchester United come calling. 30 million euros, which is what, about 25 million quid for a youngster, makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not too disheartened by that transfer fee. Bubba Bay says he's been a member of the academy, or I can't see what you are on it. It's not showing me, but a member anyway for 13 months. Says celebrate a signing with a milestone chat. I like that. Let me know what you think. Does anybody been watching much of this player? What do you think about this player? Because it's exciting that Manchester United have brought in a player and we want to see signings. We need reinforcements. We need strengthening. We know we've got issues at wing back. You've seen Tyrone Malacia be tried there. You've seen Diogo Dalot tried there. We even shifted Lisandro Martinez out there at one point, and that didn't quite work out. We've now got a player that it does seem like would fit in there. Now, I know Dalot had a very good game at Anfield on that left-hand side, but I think he has struggled massively this season. He hasn't been the Diogo Dalot we saw last season. And a big part of that might be in playing out of position. It's a big difference between playing right back, which is his natural position, and playing left wing back, which is where he's been forced to play for much of this season. So let me know what you think. Is this the right guy, though? You don't just want to bring in anyone. It's not a case of always a left wing back, get him. Is he the right left wing back? I like this. A8 says, watch 2 minutes of a YouTube clip. Looks fast. That's all you can do at the minute, I think, is unless you're a Serie A football expert or Lecce fan. Even if you like Serie A, you might not have watched him that often because I don't know how many times Lecce games are on the telly, how many times you're watching him. Nick Burrows says, this guy is an attacker. More worried about him defensively. Okay, fair enough. We spoke to Finn Academy Scoop about him. I think it was last week he spoke about him, and he was pretty positive about him. It feels like this is a good signing for Manchester United and one for Ruben Amorim. There's been a lot of imbalance in this team, haven't there? We've seen a lot of players struggling to fit into the system, to play in the system, sort of round pegs in square holes, if you will. But we're getting in a player who can play in the position we need him to play in. Whether he's going to be good enough, we'll have to wait and see. I hope so. I will say this. I think our transfer signings recently, and I mean very recently in terms of the last transfer window, have been positive ones. Yes, you can argue that maybe Joshua Zirkzee isn't the player we want him to be. I know he's had a decent spell, but there's a few question marks there, to say the least. But you look at Manuel Ugarte, you look at Lenny Yoro, you look at Nuzer Mazraoui, you look at Matthijs de Ligt. These all seem like good signings to me. I know it's only early doors, but it definitely feels like last transfer window was a good one overall. And I'm hoping that this can be a continuation of that with this signing. Akash K says, Jay, I'm a little concerned we have signed a left wing back who has been right wing all season at Lecce. There you go. He's been playing at a different position. Can he fit into that left wing back? I think so. Tyler Wood says, if I hear about Pogba one more time, I swear to God, I will sign Wesley Sneijder. Ross Murphy says that it's a good deal for a position we really needed. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, look, we needed him. And look, 25 million quid. I know it's not peanuts. 25 million quid is obviously a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, and what Manchester United do with transfers now, I mean, or more recently, that's not a lot of money. Manchester United usually pay a lot more. And I think it's one of those signings where he's only a kid and he's 20 years old. If this doesn't work out, if you look at this player and you go, okay, by the summer or by this time next year, you're going, you know what, he's not quite kicked on, he's not quite fit into the Premier League, you could probably still get some money for him. You could probably, if you're going to think like from a business perspective, but there's still a chance for him. Obviously, his potential's there. He could grow, he can get better and become worth a lot more than that. And if he plays for Manchester United for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever, he'll be worth a lot more than 25 million quid to him. So it seems like, seems like a bit of a no-brainer, this one, to me anyway. That's how I feel about it. You may disagree. Let me know. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Someone, Vashit Reyes says, Jay, what does this signing mean for Harry Hamas? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, listen, Harry Hamas isn't really getting anywhere near the first team at the minute, is it? He played in pre-season, did very well in pre-season, but I don't think this is going to have too much of an effect. It's probably a little bit more interesting, in Diego Leon, because that's the player we brought, the 17-year-old, who I think he plays left back and left wing back. So what does that mean for him? Because I think the idea is he's going to come back to United, or comes United in the summer, going to assess him in pre-season, and then decide whether he's going to get loaned, whether that's back to Paraguay, or he's going to go somewhere else, or he's going to be in the sort of the fringe of the squad, or if he's going to be playing, we'll have to wait and see. But I said this earlier, sometimes with Ruben Amorim at Sporting, you can have a naturally left-footed left wing back and a left-footed right wing back, I think. So there might be scope for them both to play eventually in the team for Ruben Amorim. Let me know what you think about this signing. Let me know how you're feeling and whether you think this is a positive move for Manchester United. Akash K says, Jay, do we know what kind of wages Dorgu will be getting? We don't. At least I can't see anything at the minute. We'll try and find out. We'll get the nuts and bolts of all this transfer as and when we can. It does feel like this is a signing that wouldn't be on ridiculous money. He's 20 years old. He's coming from a club that's right near the bottom of Serie A. I'd be very surprised if he was one of Manchester United's top earners. I don't see him coming in and demanding the sort of, the Casemiro or Marcus Rashford wages of this world. I think he'd be on decent money because he's signing for Manchester United. But if I had to guess, speculate, I think it's probably going to be more around the 100, 150k mark rather than anywhere near the 200 and 250k mark. Let me know what you think, though. I mean, I'm no expert on wages or anything like that, but it does make me feel like a young player from an unfancied club isn't going to be on stupid money. Heaven Soul says, bro earns like 5k per week, lol. They'll probably give him 40k. Yeah, he might be on that then. I don't know, 40 might be a bit low, but you certainly don't expect him to be anywhere near the top earners at Manchester United. Sue Brettel says, any word on Nkunku developments? Nothing yet. I've not seen anything yet. We'll keep you posted, though. And if there are any developments, any movement on Christopher Nkunku to Manchester United, maybe that is one more signing we could make in this transfer window. It doesn't feel like there's going to be a busy transfer window in terms of incomings. This might be the only signing, but if we did bring someone else in, maybe it is Christopher Nkunku from Chelsea on loan. Maybe that could happen. Ross Murphy says maybe Dorgu and Diego Leon are the future wingbacks. Maybe. Anish Joshi says maybe 20 to 30k. I'd expect him to be on a bit more than that. I don't know. You let me know. I think I've gone a bit high on it. Ekman Singh Galati says probably 50 to 80k. 100k is too much, Jay. We aren't a charity. Well, I'm not saying we are, but he's signing for Manchester United. And also as well, he might look at, or his agent might look at, what is everyone else on? If everyone else is on like, I don't know, 100k upwards, practically, then you might want parity with the lowest earners at least. I don't know. I've no idea what most players at Manchester United are on at the minute. Mark plays game, says he'll go Bayern. I think you're talking about Christopher Nkunku there. Dorgu can play left wing back and right wing back. This is goodbye, says TJ. Adon says, Jay, great and all, but any news on a striker? Nothing as yet. We were just chatting then. Maybe Christopher Nkunku, there could be something still in it. But as it stands, there isn't much happening. I mean, let's face facts. Manchester United just bought a player. So we should be grateful for that for a little while at least. At least we can celebrate that for the next 4 hours. And then tomorrow is another day, as they say, and we can start focusing on the striker. JT YT says, agree with Jay. Nkunku Nkunku is just an injury-prone Chelsea surplus. His injury record is a bit ropey in it, to say the least. I don't expect if we did bring him in, it would be permanent anyway. So maybe that can make it where you go. He's a low move. If he is injury-prone, if he does get injured, it's not going to cost the earth in Manchester United. I don't know, though. I'm just a bit wary sometimes. You get into that position, don't you, where you're like, we just need someone. We need anyone. Get us someone. We just need a signing. You don't just need anyone. You need good signings at Manchester United. Whether Nkunku is good enough, I'm not so sure. I'll be honest with you. He wasn't a player I was particularly thinking about or keen for us to sign a few weeks ago. And it feels a little bit like Desperation's kicking in. We're getting towards the end of the window. We need reinforcements. We need a striker. Nkunku could be available. Let's get him. Let me know what you think. BMW Racing on loan Nkunku is worth a SHIT. Okay. Some other comments here that I won't read out. Listen, the big news, the one that matters is we've got Patrick Dorgu from Lecce, 30 million quid. 30 million euros, I should say, plus around 5 million euros in add-ons, according to Fabrizio Romano. We've had the here we go. So a signing is coming in an area we need one. Jibak, Sahu says, what do you think will happen to Marcus if we don't manage to sell in this window? It's a good question. There's a debate out in the morning. McCullough, Ornstein, Carragher, Scholes, chatting about Marcus Rashford on the overlap. Going to have that out on the channel in the morning so you can see what they all had to say about it. But if Marcus Rashford doesn't get a move, he's going to have to build some bridges with Ruben Amorim, because I think the latest story from Jamie Jackson was that the two aren't even speaking. But, BMW Racing says, I meant shot. Right, okay, he's worth shot, right. Listen, the main story, the main man of the hour is Patrick Dorgu. Here we go. It's coming to Manchester United. Left wing back. Much needed. Hopefully, he can have a very, very bright career at Manchester United Football Club. We'll wait and see. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Got loads of videos coming up. So if you've not done so, make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. I'm Motty. This has been a bit of breaking news. Dorgu, here we go. Thanks for watching.